That's one small step for man.
Out for the out for the
Hello everyone, welcome back to Here's What's Going On podcast with me, AJ. We'll jump right into the ABC's AJ's Book Corner, and I'm reading from the book Still Would I Lie to You? A novel by Nicole Blades. Sipping on too hot coffee, whereby the single lingers on her lips a good 10 minutes later, is Lou's version of a cold plunge. She takes that first impressive sip from the scalding quad over drip. The punch of heat and caffeine straightens Lou out of her slouch as she leans against the kitchen island, but the grand serenade of the doorbell gives her almost settled shoulders up to her ears. Lou rests the cup on the counter and forgoes the security screens. The worst possible intruder has already trespassed on her family's private space. She heads toward the door, tossing a quick scowl at the breakfast nook aimed at the chair where Mr. V sat over 2 weeks ago. The hot liquid still warms her throat and chest as Lou zips up her thin black hoodie and then pulls open the door, ready to feign surprise at whoever is standing behind it. "Hey," Finola says, so pleasant it sounds like the first note of a ballad. He is dressed in olive-colored leggings and a matching fitted running jacket with white, thick-soled sneakers. Lou scans the jewelry. Again, no major pieces, although she's replaced the curled serpent gold stud with medium-sized silver hoops, basic and delicate but nice. Finola catches Lou's glance lingering by her shoulder. "It's just me this time, no looming golf cart," she tells Lou, winking. "Oh, I wasn't checking. You're fine," Lou smiles, but it's listless, covering up her personal hell. The side effects of her Faustian bargain has become a heavy lift. Still, she stretches her smile while straining to keep it natural, warm. Now more than ever, securing her usual mask is imperative. Plus, it's Finola. The edibles aside, although it did score cool points, Lou deems her the most likable of the haughty housewives. And despite Lou having a painfully short list of companions to reference, there's something about Finola that feels oddly familiar, maybe even safe. Like perhaps in another life, a very plain and peaceful one, the two of them could have been real friends. Sorry to even drop in on you unannounced again," Finola says, fidgeting with the small leather belt bag slung across her chest. Despite the mix of curiosity and suspicion stirring in her gut, Lou toggles on her affable mode. "Girl, please, come on in. Is everything okay?" "Totally, this is in no way an emergency," Finola says. "Good, then join me for some coffee," Lou says. "I was just ingesting my usual caffeinated magma. Happy to make you a cup of something suited for human consumption. Please don't ask for some double pump, no fat, glitter, sugar cube, pumpkin dust bullshit." "That sounds delightful," Finola says, then quickly stops Lou from walking ahead with a soft grab to the forearm. Lou's eyes pivot to Finola's hands resting on hers. Her reflexes switching, ready to kick out her elbow like a chicken wing, jabbing the woman in the side hard and slipping out of her hold in self-defense. Perhaps sensing Lou's body tense up, Finola lets go, but doesn't make a moment about it. Instead, she keeps talking. "Actually, I should come clean." Lou's brows stay arched as Finola continues. "I came over to apologize for leaving behind weed gummies like some graceless idiot," Finola sighs, her face reddening. "It was presumptuous and so embarrassing. We had just met." "Behave. It wasn't like that. If anything, it just shows that you're one of those vibes-only girlies, making sure everyone feels good and leveled. I appreciate that." Finola exhales, clearly relieved. "Okay, so we're good?" She nods quickly, answering her own query. Her face remains stuck in cringe smile. "Now for the other reason I came by. I was hoping you'd want to join me for a walk." "A walk?" "Not far," Finola says. "Just down to the beach entrance and back. Barely 2 miles, which should be a total breeze for you. I mean, hell, Pilates hottie body." Finola waves her hand around Lou's torso. "We can chat and catch up without the PH2 girls jumping in. Like I'm dying to know what you thought about that brunch. You all left so quickly after. I was just going to pull you aside and get your take fresh." The dots quickly connect for Lou as Finola moves from tolerable neighbor to inadvertent abettor. The necessary cracked open door into her impossible Castile mission. "I'm in," Lou says. "Walking? I swear it's the thing I already miss most about Brooklyn." Yeah, so like I said before about this book, Finola is basically a thief in a crime syndicate. She's been doing this for years, and like she's getting older and she wants to get out. So basically, she's having to try to figure out how to steal like this nanobite thing or whatever that her husband works for this company that's creating. It's a long story, but yeah, it's pretty interesting so far. Like, you're building the characters. Like, that's one of the slower parts, but see, it's picking up because now she's gonna get she's gonna use the wives of the husbands that work there to try to get ends and figure stuff out and stuff like that, because that's what she's good at. But yeah, let's jump into this episode, and we'll be talking about signs of smartness. We're discussing the 10 signs you're dealing with a really smart person, according to Psychology by Holly Burns. When you hear the word intelligent, usually the first thing that pops into your mind is like test scores, IQ, blah, blah, blah. We think of a rigid 2 or 3 digit IQ number, or maybe someone who is incredibly fast in math, or a person who memorized an entire textbook. And we're kind of conditioned to view intelligence as this like 2-dimensional thing. It's clinical, like kind of like measurement. Either you have it or you kind of don't. But psychologists have been uncovering a little bit more of a more expansive reality of what makes a person smart. It's far beyond the IQ, and it's not just about what you know, it's about how you move through the world, how you treat people, how you handle the twists and turns of life, and it's deeply tied to kind of our emotional health as well as our behavioral habits. So we're going to look at the 10 unexpected signs of a truly bright mind. And hopefully by the end of this conversation, we'll glean a better and a broader and more firmer understanding about what's going on. So let's start with kind of how an intelligent mind interacts with the world. And it's probably one of the most misunderstood, if not kind of glanced over kind of thing, I think. And that is an insatiable curiosity and open-mindedness. Truly intelligent people have this like deep, quiet thirst to understand the why behind things. They're the ones asking the what ifs, the hows, and the whys. Psychologists call the accumulation of knowledge crystallized intelligence. But what makes it special is that it goes hand in hand with being open-minded. People, they don't just collect facts to prove they're right. They're genuinely wanting to listen and understand different perspectives, to learn more about themselves and adapt and you know, even if those perspectives challenge what they already believe. And I think there's kind of a really beautiful humility in that. The second area is analytical and critical thinking. Intelligent people don't panic. They excel at breaking complex problems down into smaller, manageable pieces by looking for like patterns, connections, and solutions that others might miss because they're evaluating information objectively. But here is where like the old definition of intelligent usually gets it wrong. An analytical mind can be incredibly lonely if it doesn't have the third indicator here, which is high emotional intelligence, or EI. Basically, intelligence involves a deep capacity for empathy. It's the ability to understand and manage your own feelings while accurately reading the room and sensing what the person across from you is going through. Research actually shows that emotional intelligence is strongly linked to exceptional verbal skills and cognitive flexibility. And it turns out that understanding human emotions is a higher form of brain power than what was initially thought. So when you combine open-mindedness with being empathetic, you kind of move into the fourth indicator, which is adaptability. Since life changes so fast, people who are intelligent are able to navigate the changes with an unique kind of resilience. They kind of approach obstacles with growth mindset, seeing a setback not as personal failure, but an invitation to learn and evolve, and an opportunity to progress still. The fifth indicator is keen observation skills. Intelligent people often notice the subtle things, the small shift in a friend's tone of voice, a tiny pattern in data, or a detail in a room that everyone else walked right past. They aren't just looking, they are truly perceiving, and they read between the lines. Sixth trait, self-control. The capacity to regulate your impulses, stay calm under pressure, and delay instant gratification in order to focus on long-term goals instead of being swept away by a temporary wave of emotion. An intelligent mind can pause, breathe, and make a well-reasoned choice. You might think all this analyzing and self-control sounds a bit intense, but the seventh and eighth signs kind of bring into balance and a clearer picture. pleasant attitude and a strong work ethic. Brilliant people don't think they know it all. Because they are secure in their intelligence, they are remarkably open to feedback and criticism. They don't see notes or corrections as personal attacks. They see them as tools for self-improvement. And they're enthusiastic about, being able to have the opportunity to improve and work hard to grow. There's a 9th trait, too, which I think is kind of weird, but I was like, I didn't expect this one to be on the list. Skepticism. People who are intelligent, they don't just accept information. There's kind of like the trust but verify type of situation. They want to seek evidence and look up the credibility of the source who is delivering the information. This critical distance kind of helps, from being manipulated, and also helps them form opinions that are grounded in reality. And then we're kind of getting to the final one, a great sense of humor. So basically, they're saying intelligent people are clever, and they use dark humor. And they say that that's a form of a higher intelligence, because humor requires creativity. It requires your brain to connect two completely unrelated concepts and find, the beautiful, absurd twist in the middle. And using humor to diffuse tension or lighten a dark room is basically a masterclass in cognitive and flexibility and intelligence. I think through this whole entire article, one thing is, a couple things I've gleaned from it is, every day we have the ability to be curious instead of judging. We have a small moment before we get mad to take a breath and choose to be constructive instead of destructive. And we oftentimes have a moment where we can really kind of just laugh off the most absurd things that happen to us, or truly listen to what a person is saying to us. And I think in those moments, what we think is you just doing what you do is actually showing that you have a higher level of intelligence. No, you may not have a high IQ, but there's different levels of intelligence. And my siblings always said this to me. She says, cause I always used to kind of compare myself to my siblings, because my older siblings are very, they all have master's degrees, and they're successful, very successful to me. And even now I'm talking about, I'm saying but I'm successful too. But that's kind of being the youngest. I'm just kind of am I successful? And I kind of question it, because I'm comparing myself to my siblings, which isn't fair to me. But my siblings, my older siblings said, but you're intelligent. You have a high level of intelligence emotionally than some of us do. And I said, yeah. And she said, there's different types of intelligence. And I think, I always say, at my job, I'm a personality hire, because I talk to everyone, and I have different relationships with everyone. And I'm very transparent about my own struggles of social anxiety and stuff, and how I'm working and progressing toward that, whether it's going into my break room during lunch with my coworkers for 15 minutes, or going and sitting with coworkers I'd never sit with, and enjoying in their conversation, because I think that's how we build relationships and find commonality amongst ourselves and build rapport. And when you're working on a team, as a team, to be successful wholly and for whoever you're working for, building rapport helps with the team being able to be cohesive and to also progress and be successful as well. And I think that that's important, and that's a career goal for me, not necessarily a personal goal for me. But yeah, moving right along to what I'm happy and grateful for. I'm happy and grateful for, I found a whole bunch of Barbie and doll stuff on sale at Walmart. I went to, so first things first, I did go to, was it Ross or Marshall's? Marshalls. I think it was Marshalls, and I found the Barbie World fishing set that comes with like a kayak, a surfboard, like fishing poles, like all kinds of stuff. That thing's usually priced at like $25 to $30, and I found it for $16, and I grabbed it up. And then I got 2 of the mini brand bulb plant balls. And thankfully it wasn't repeat plants, so I was so glad, because I can always use plants. I like when I do my Barbie settings, I put plants in my house. And then I found the riding Barbie, the black horse riding Barbie. I haven't gotten the horse yet. I'm probably going to order that sometime soon. But I have the horse riding Barbie, and then I also got like 2 or 3 like clothes sets that I got for like $15. So yeah. Also, I didn't share this, but I may share it on my YouTube channel. I got the Wonder Woman Barbie. She's spectacular. And I also got the Miss Opal Barbie as well. And she's spectacular. So yeah, I want to get to City Trends, because I heard City Trends I've seen the City Trends dolls that they have as well. They have like dreadlocks and stuff, and they're really like beautiful as well, beautiful dolls and stuff like that too. So yeah, hopefully, but I'm happy about that, finding stuff on sale, doll stuff on sale. And I'm hoping that the mini brand soon comes to Walmart for the record players, because I really want that for my Barbie doll. I think she would really enjoy it in the house and stuff like that. But yeah, like I have so much Barbie stuff, like the settings and stuff that I do, which again, if you listen to the previous episode, we talked about living an inner fulfilled life. That's stuff I don't necessarily show about me, but I am an adult doll collector. I have many brands that I have. I do full doll settings in my doll house and stuff that I have. And that's just another hobby that I have, but I don't really show it or share it, but it's fulfilling for me, and that's the great part of it. Moving on to the quote. What a privilege it is to be able to wake up and try again. I think I've used this quote before, but I think it's important to revisit it, because it truly is a privilege to be able to wake up and say, I didn't succeed necessarily, or I not even that, because that's really negative. It's great to wake up and say, another day to try. And I think that that's really important, and how you have to kind of look at things in life and take it as you do. And I really do and have been taking into account the fact of who I am, and at the parts where it's really hard for me, and how I'm still continuing on, and how blessed I am to be able to do so. So yeah. But before I go, be sure to check out my show notes. Also check out my books on Amazon titled Poems to Cry to in the Dark and Love Letters Never Sent to Myself, and leave a 5-star rating. Other than that, I don't have anything else. I'm glad you're still here, and I hope you have the day you deserve. Bye.